Opt-out workplace emergency savings, a popular, powerful and proven way to boost employees' financial well-being. I'm Emma and I'm research lead for the workplace savings research at Nest Insight. Nest Insight is a public benefit research and innovation centre, finding better ways to support people's financial well-being both now and in later life. We work with employers, product providers, academics, policymakers to test and find solutions to see what works best for people in the real world. Our findings are shared widely and freely, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our workplace savings trials. So almost everyone thinks that saving is important. Across surveys we conducted between 2018 and 2022, so that includes the pandemic and the beginning of the cost of living crisis, we saw that consistently 85 to 90% of people said that having savings was important to them. Yet it's estimated that around 38% of the UK adult working population are not saving enough for retirement. And almost half would struggle to cover a £300 bill. The picture's not too dissimilar in the US. Many people are under-saving for retirement, and a third would be unable to pay a $400 bill within 7 days. We know short-term financial stability can impact on the likelihood to save for retirement, and products often work in silos dealing with one part of an individual's financial life, making it difficult to make saving trade-offs. But what if you only had to take one step to improve your short-term and long-term financial well-being? Between 2018 and 2023, we explored the impact of an account called JARS that worked directly from payroll by putting contributions into an emergency saving account before flowing them into a retirement account as additional voluntary contributions when a threshold was reached. The product was offered by Salary Finance, with the emergency saving account provided by Yorkshire Building Society. 5 large UK employers offered this: BT, ITV, Step Change the Debt Charity, Timpson and University of Glasgow. This might sound a little bit familiar to those in the US. In that context, Secure 2.0 legislation brought in 2 provisions for emergency savings: emergency saving withdrawals from the pension plan and the pension-linked emergency saving accounts, or PLESs. The sidecar model that we tested in the UK context operates slightly differently, but is very similar to the PLESA, and so parallels can be drawn in the findings that we find here and what might be expected in the US context too. So how effective did we find these sidecar, these hybrid saving products to be? In short, very. So after 18 months, most people still have their account open and 80% are still saving regularly into it. People are using these accounts actively, they build a balance fairly quickly and then make withdrawals from time to time. About a third, just short of a third, make contributions outside of payroll, so they're actively engaging with these accounts. Of the accounts that are open, about 5% make a contribution into retirement saving within 18 months. It maybe doesn't sound a lot to start with, but when you think about it, that's quite impressive. So in order to roll over into retirement, you had to reach your threshold, which for many people was around £1,000 or even higher. And when you're contributing maybe £20-30 a month, to see people rolling over into retirement saving at all within the 18 month of the trial was great to see. Also, when you consider Nest, which is the largest pension in the UK by membership, only about 1.5% of people have ever made a direct voluntary contribution into that scheme. So 5% in that short 18-month window is a good sign. But there was one problem. Although half of people eligible for JARS, for that sidecar account, thought the product would help them, and 14 out of every 100 said they would sign up, only about 1 out of 100 actually does sign up. So what if we make it easier to start saving than not save? Well, we ran a second set of trials looking at the emergency saving element of this saving structure without the rollover into pension with an employer called Suez and their credit union TransSave UK. What we found was that when employees had to sign up to save, only about 2%, slightly less than 2%, actually did.
When they were signed up to save, unless they said they didn't want to, up to 47% of eligible
employees started to save, and they saved consistently over time. It's a phenomenal result. You can see it a little bit clearer in this graph here, that gap is just huge. There will be a couple of you in the audience thinking that, yeah, that's great, but it's one employer. We have no idea whether it will work for other employers in different industries with different types of workers. And I hear you. So we ran the trial again, this time with 2 large UK employers, Co-op and Bupa, and their employee financial wellbeing provider, WageStream. Here, the baseline of saving for those who were signing up is a little bit higher. Around 16% chose to save through WageStream. 16% of WageStream members chose to save through the product. But when employees were signed up to save, unless they said they didn't want to, it jumped to closer to 71% of eligible employees saving. These are different employers. It's a different opt-out mechanism. It's a different savings product, and it's even a different research design that we used, and yet the results are strikingly similar. What's more is that people like it. So when we asked people at Suez whether they thought that after the pilot finished, their employer should continue to offer opt-out payroll savings to the workforce, over 95% said yes, or they didn't mind. In the WageStream trials, employees were asked how happy they were with opt-out payroll saving, and over 90% said they were happy, very happy, or neutral about the savings mechanism. So to bring together these 2 pieces of research, opt-out workplace saving, particularly with a rollover to retirement, is a powerful, popular and proven way to encourage saving across the lifespan. It can boost employees' financial resilience, both now and for the long term. But in order to reach the people who need it, it needs to be offered on an opt-out basis. People need to be automatically enrolled into it unless they say they don't want it. I've just scratched the surface on these research trials and the data that are available. There's plenty more on our website if you're interested in what happened to balances over the trials, withdrawal behaviour, engagement with the accounts, the interaction with retirement saving and pensions, the use of earned wage access, the uptake of loans. We have a whole wealth of data on these accounts and opt-out mechanisms. The papers are all available on our website, and you can find the links in the notes for this presentation. If you have any questions, then you can email us at insight@nestcorporation.org.uk. Thank you.